Okay, so here's that last, hopefully last part of the assembly video. We're actually going to assemble stuff now. This is set up just like it was in the end of the last um, video. So now what we have to do is we have to actually, put like screws through holes and stack these things. So one of the key things to understand as you're doing assemblies is everything in Fusion 360 is built off of joints. And there's a couple different kinds, or there's a few different kinds of joints, or several kinds really. There's, I think like 8 or something. For screws, you're going to want to use like cylindrical, right? Because you want it to be able to twist and you want it to be able to go up and down. So that's what we're going to pick. But as you look, as we do it, you'll kind of see the different kinds. There's also a surface or a planar joint, which is what you're going to have between the backing and the back of the hook and stuff like that. So as we go, though, understand that there are joints, and the whole thing of joints is to make sure that things can move, right? That's the idea, is that maybe you might want to simulate something later and you want it to be able to move, and the joints kind of constrain and make sure things don't move when they're not supposed to and only move in ways that they are supposed to move. um, Joints can be kind of a pain, so just be aware of that. That's not always great. But it is what it is. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put these screws through this. I'm going to call this the bottom hook right here. I'm going to put these screws through these holes and right up against the bottom, right? So right up against this surface. Um, and doing that's kind of fun. So yeah, anyway, let's get started and do what we can. I understand that the screws are, they might not have been under there, but now you can see them, hopefully. So I'm going to click on this component. Actually, I'm going to select this component, and I'm going to say joint. So the first thing that I pick is what's going to move. Continue. Cancel. I need to capture that position. I want it to stay here because the more positions you capture, the more memory you use up, but I don't want it, I want it to stay how it is. So I'm going to capture this position, and then I want a cylindrical joint, cylindrical, between this guy. And notice how, if you can kind of see it, it's got some interesting stuff going on. So we really want, I want to capture just that it's part of this cylinder, right? So I'm going to click on this. Anywhere in here kind of grabs your cylinder, and I want to go between that and the center of this hole, like that. Okay, notice it can now move up and down, so that's cool. We're going to make another joint too, but this is where we're going to start. So notice this can now move in the center, but this head is kind of, encroaching here, so we're going to have to fix that. I'm just going to hit enter, and now that's there. Okay, so we're going to get all the screws there, and then we're going to do this. So I'm going to repeat that. Grab this. Sorry if my face is in the way. I promise it'll be moved soon. Joint, cylindrical, this part of the joint to this part here, right? We want it to be the center. Boom. Oh, shoot. Nope. Cancel. So I want to, notice it was like the bottom part. So that's what we want to catch when you do this. So that's the tricky part of assembling, is actually it starts to get a little bit funny. Notice I have the bottom is what ended up being grabbed, so that's where I want to be grabbing here as well. And I'm going to make sure that that also goes in the center part. Okay, yes. Now that looks like the other one. So you say, okay, and we do the last one the same way. Joint. Oh, yeah, Yes, it is where it needs to be. Hurrah. All right. So that would be, this would be super awesome, except that notice the screws are not even through the metal and they're sitting in a place that they really shouldn't be. So there's another joint that we need to make, and it's that we need this right here, this part, to basically be coplanar with the bottom here. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to click on, so I'm going to do joint, and I'm going to click this part. And instead of cylindrical, I am going to do planar. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click select, and we're going to select this plane. Okay. I don't know why it's mad at me, so maybe we'll try Revit. Nope. Revit. Do I want to? Yeah. Okay, let's try this. So I guess it's trying to protect me. I'm still going to try it though. I'm going to say, yeah, I do. So by doing that, we now have a couple different joints, which I don't know if it's okay with that. I think it's okay with that. Yeah, there's no problem there. Okay, cool. So we're going to go back like this top that I wanted to be looking at it from this perspective, because this is how we were looking. Okay, cool. So we need to do the same thing with these other ones, right? We need it to be the top here to be coplanar. So I'm going to click on this part, right? Joint. Yeah. Select this face right here. Bonk. And I want that to be coplanar with this face. Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. Cool. We'll do the same thing here. Joint. This guy. Nope. Nope. That's this guy. And then the second one is going to. Well, okay, so that was a perfect example of how it's not. It does not work exactly how you want it to. So then you go here and you click like that, and now it will go nicely. And I click escape. And then I click that bottom, and I click it again, and it'll say, yes, do you want to continue? And I'll say, yes, I do. Okay. So let's take a look. All right, that looks pretty good. Yeah, you like that? I like that. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm cool with it. I think it's kind of kicking. Okay. Let's see how we're doing for time. Minutes. Yeah, we got some time. Okay. Let's go back. Well, it's kind of out of it in that last picture. So